Hey team, thanks for coming to take a look at another video with me. I'm going to go ahead and show you today how we're going to tame Bloodstalker and then pretty much everything that I've learned about the Bloodstalker since the launch of Genesis. Now I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of testing. Go ahead and look into the breeding, going to look into the mechanics of the actual dinosaur itself. I guess I don't even know if you can call this thing a dinosaur, but I'm not going to waste too much of your time, so we're just going to jump straight into it today. Now, what you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need blood packs. This is the only thing that it eats. I've tried many different things just to see if there was some sort of maybe like a kibble type feature with this, but there's not. They only eat blood packs. Just as an example, I tried leech blood just to see maybe if that was going to be a thing, but couldn't figure anything else out. I'm hoping maybe there's some sort of like hidden mechanic because it does take a lot of blood packs, a lot. From what I'm understanding, if you want to tame 150 on an official server, for example, you're going to need over 1,000 blood packs. Now, this is a single player, so I'm not going to have to worry about that. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Even on official, if it does take 1,000 blood packs, honestly, it doesn't take very long. All you're going to need to do is just sit there and wait for it to actually attack you. So in addition to the blood packs, obviously you're going to need some blood extraction tool. What I'm going to recommend is you make a good amount of these. These are 1 chitin or keratin and 10 hide, so they're pretty easy to make. I would recommend just going ahead and throwing down a bunch of beds, and you and a couple of tribe mates go ahead and just spam these out and get as many of the blood packs as you can possibly get. They're very easy tames after you've got the blood packs and you've located these. Now, a couple of things to note with that. I have had kind of a little bit of a hard time finding some of these in the trees. They're a little bit more rare. Now what I've noticed is if you find one, it's usually a tree with like 6 or 7 of them in there at once. You can see that there's 2 on the tree. There's actually 1 on the ground over here because I've already gone ahead and found one for you guys. They will grab you off of the ground. They don't have to be in the tree, and you don't have to worry about flying or anything like that because they can just pick you up literally off the ground. They're not doing that right now because I am in invisible mode, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do the tame part right now. Okay, so they should go ahead and find me here pretty quick. They're usually very fast about it. I think there's one on the ground over here. Let me make sure I type that in right. Oh, there we go. And apparently she has a little comment about that as well. So as you can see, it says attack to struggle and escape. Now, if you want to do that, you can. It will actually knock you and it out of the tree, and it will knock you into the ground. Now, this is going to reset all of your taming efficiency or your taming if you've done any at all. Now, one thing that I'm a little bit confused about here is it says max taming efficiency modifier is 30%. I'm assuming there's probably a way to get that to 100%. I haven't been able to figure it out. Maybe you guys can. If you do, leave it in the comments below and I'll make sure I get some sort of notation or comment on the video so people know about it. But in the meantime, all you're going to need to do is literally wait here for this thing to actually clear out your blood packs. This being a level 25, it's probably only going to take like 200 or so. Try not to click any buttons. You literally just want to sit here and let it suck all of the blood packs out of your bag. You don't need them on a hotbar. You literally just need them in here, and he will do all of the rest of the work there. As you can see, nothing else is changing. There's nothing else literally going on here at all, and all he's going to do is go ahead and finish up the tame. So I'm going to let him do that here real quick. So now one thing I did want to mention, he doesn't actually do anything outside of, once you actually finish the tame, you're going to stay in his claws. He's not going to do anything here for you, so should be okay in that aspect. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And we're going to show you the rest of what you're going to do with this guy. One thing I do want to kind of call out that I forget to mention here in a second, you can pull out weapons on these things. And if you look, and go to third person, what they do is they actually end up just standing up. You can walk around with it. I think you can jump. Nope, you can't jump. You can just walk around with it. So when you have a weapon out, you can't shoot your webs. You can't do anything else. All you can do is literally just walk around. You still get the night vision though, so that makes it kind of interesting. What was that? Climbing, interesting. So you can actually climb up the side of things while you're in this mode. That's actually really interesting. I was going to show you guys all of the features. I actually didn't know about this one, so yeah, here we go. Look at this. Just okay, he's having a little bit of a hard time here. It's kind of a spaz. Anyway, it does look like it's working. One of the nice things here, I guess, and it actually looks like it targets from so far away. I can see these things from really far away. This is going to be a really good sniping tool, I think. Good way to do it. Once you want to go back down, all you need to do is put the weapon away and it drops back to the ground. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the other features here, and then we'll get into the breeding for these bad boys. All right, real quick, before we jump into the rest of the features, just to confirm, so you can actually be up, I'm on the side of one of these little hills here, climbing up this thing, and you can transform back and forth between the sniper mode while you're doing this. So this is going to be such a good tame to literally just like destroy other people's tames. Like I'm turning with my mouse. It's really, really easy to aim. It's really easy to navigate. I can aim pretty much wherever I want. You're gonna be able to snipe so well with these things. These things are gonna be sick. Now that we have the Bloodstalker, let's go ahead and talk about what it can do. If you look here, you're going to see a couple of different things. First off, I want to show you guys, it's got two little yellow arrows here. This thing has a left and a right hook, and you don't really notice too much of a difference until we actually start swinging. I'll show you guys that here in just a second because I do want to show you the next thing. As you can see, this thing has what they call spider vision. It shows up in white and red. It shows you basically the red is what you guys can pick up. And what I mean by pick up, let me show you here. If you hover over something, you're going to get a little purple mark like this. Now, if you left click, nothing happens. You're just going to do your normal sprint. If you right click when it's purple, however, you're going to do this. This is called a bio grapple. You can see up in the top right, it's a little bit covered up right now, but I've got a bio grapple cooldown right now. And basically what that does is it goes ahead and reaches out, pulls the creature into you, and you're just going to beat on it until the thing's dead. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and there's literally no way to stop it until either the thing is dead and or your stamina runs out completely. So if you're going to do this, make sure you guys are doing it pretty much when you know you're not going to be in trouble if you just stay in the same spot for a little bit. One thing to note, you can do this to players and you can do this to flyers, so that's going to make it really, really interesting in terms of PvP and defense. It's really going to be able to help on some of those picking or the guys defending, picking, grabbing people who are trying to pick. That's what I'm trying to go for. Let's see if we can get kind of a range on this thing here. Still purple. It's pretty far, so I mean you have a pretty good range. I don't know that we're going to get a straight enough line to give you guys a really long range, so I'm not going to go over it too much. You guys can see here, you guys can kind of play around with it now that you know what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing here. So now I mentioned spider vision. You can actually turn spider vision on and off in the Bloodstalker menu here. It's right here. If I turn on spider vision, except for the fact that I've got my tech helmet on, you can see here that it does not show you guys any more of the red and white stuff. So you can turn that off. It's I mean really probably not going to be too useful most of the time because you guys should already know what you can grab, just some of the smaller stuff. So outside of that, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing. This thing can jump, and I mean it can really jump. So if you just hit spacebar, you get a little jump. If you hold down spacebar, however, you're going to wind up and you're going to get a monster jump. Look at that. So this is a good way to actually, it doesn't waste too much stamina either. So this is a good way to actually start swinging when you're just trying to get off of the ground here, rather than doing it from the ground itself. Which brings us into point number 2. So back to those little yellow things, those little yellow marks on the screen. This is basically where your stalker is going to try and clip when you try and do a left or a right click. Now, the only difference between left and right click is left is basically manual swinging, right is automatic. And what I mean by that, let's show you the manual first. So right now, if I hold left click, it's going to go ahead and pull me up. If I continue to hold left click, I'm just going to swing, nothing's going to happen. If I let go of left click, still nothing's going to happen. The only way to let go is if you hit space bar. That's going to throw you out, and you can continue to do that. This is just left click, space bar, throw out, left click, space bar, throw out. If you don't let go, or if you don't hit space bar, you're just going to hold on pretty much forever, and it's just going to swing just like this. You can build up a little bit of momentum. Now, right click, however, you can literally just hold right click. Haven't let go, I'm still holding on, I'm not using spacebar, and as you can see, it's just launching me through the air. This is going to be a much easier way to actually probably travel for a lot of people, especially if you're on some of the laggier servers, because it's just going to manually do it for you. I mean, it's a pretty good little feature. Just kind of aim in the direction that you want to go, and it's just going to go ahead and latch on and do it for you. It makes it pretty easy, super simple, super easy, and really nice in my opinion. I think this is a really good feature that they added, and probably a little bit better than the Rock Drake in that term. And yeah, anyway, I think that's pretty much it for most of the features. It does have water walking as well, and you actually get a little bit of a buff when you do it. Let's just get over to the water here real quick, and so that I can show you guys. And then if you let go of left click, it automatically lets go as well. You don't have to hit the spacebar for that. Okay, so here we go. Up in the top right again, you're going to see that we do have water walking. Let's go ahead and let go of this. I don't really care. Okay, you got the water walking buff, so it can walk on water. I believe you can still jump off of water as well. Let's double check that. So if we hold down spacebar and no, we just got a little jump. So you can't actually jump super far off the water. Not a big deal. But yeah, that's most of the actual features here. I think we've covered pretty much everything you guys are going to need to know in terms of that. And let's go ahead and jump into the breeding here for you. Now that we've got 2 Bloodstalkers here, let's go ahead and actually talk about the breeding itself. So these guys are breedable. As you can see, we've got a male and female here. Let's go ahead and just do the normal enable mating. I don't think there's any special conditions that you actually need here. And okay, there you go. So they're already starting to mate. Let's go ahead and just leave them here for a second. I'm not sure that this is going to be an egg or if it's going to be what exactly it's going to be when it actually comes out. So let's give it just a second here. All right, mating does take a second, so I would go ahead and just make sure you guys keep that in mind. It looks like what we have here is a dropped by Bloodstalker. Now, I don't think I can pick this up. Let's see. Suppose in 7 hours, sorry, yeah, 7 days, 23, holy, can't talk. Anyway, spoils, it's too cold, and I don't think, is there a way for me to pick this up? I don't think that there is, to be honest with you. Doesn't look like it's targetable here by the Bloodstalker. I'm not seeing a way to pick it up here myself. Interesting. So you might actually end up having to, I wonder if this guy can pick it up. Let's try C. Let's try and just see if we can get this to maybe latch. Nah, the normal latch there. Okay, so nothing there. Interesting. So this looks like it has to be wherever it literally lays the egg. I don't think it actually can move. So let's go ahead and just get some generators up here. I'm going to see if we can warm this thing up and see if we can get it to hatch. All right, we went ahead and dropped down 3 air conditioners. Looks like 3 air conditioners was exactly the right amount that we're going to need for this. And now it is actually incubating. It's only going to take about 19 minutes to incubate, it shows. And the total egg health actually dropped by a lot. It looks like they died pretty quick outside of being incubated. So make sure when you guys drop these, you're dropping them in an area that you actually want them to come out. And you're doing it in a spot that is going to be incubated and ready to go, because you can't, it doesn't seem that you can move them at all. Maybe there's going to be another method later, but it looks like this is about what we're looking at right now. All right, here we go, and it's going to hatch. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and clean this guy. Looks like it's a little guy here. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to eat meat or if it's going to eat blood bags. You may need blood bags for this, which will make things... Nope, looks like it eats meat fine. So drop down to, let's take a look one more time. So 190, 189, 188, 187, and back up. So it looks like meat's just fine. Outside of that, it looks like it's just going to be a normal tame. I don't see anything else wrong with it. So this is actually not going to be too bad. One thing to note, I did have to actually drop one more air conditioner when it turned night, so it did get a little bit colder. So it looks like I would probably recommend at least 4 air conditioners, maybe 5, just to be safe. But you should be good to go as long as you're not in some sort of like snow biome or something like that. Outside of this, it looks like it's a pretty normal tame. Should be able to go ahead and just raise it up like normal. And there you go. You got yourself an imprinted and good to go Bloodstalker. Not a bad little process. I mean, pretty simple, pretty normal. And I think that's probably going to wrap it up here for the Bloodstalker. I think we've kind of covered everything now. So hope you guys enjoyed that video. And if you did, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys want to see more Genesis tutorials here coming out. And appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good night.